How to get a job in HR? Now, this is a very common question that I come across a lot, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. I come across questions like I have not done my MBA, but I want to get into HR. I'm not from the HR background, I'm from a technical domain, but I want to get into the HR. Or I'm in a recruitment consulting firm and I want to get into HR. So I will be covering all these questions in this video today. I'm Lucky Daftwar, and before I start with the questions, let me share with you that if you are an MBA or if you are from a technical domain or whatever it is, there is one route that you can take to get into the HR, and that is the L&D route or the Training and Development Professional route. That's what I did. I started my career as a training and development professional. I was lucky to get a break in a multinational organization as an HRD, the Human Resource Development Professional. And I got opportunities to set up the HRD function, the development portions, the development parts of the organization. I worked upon the development of the training function. I worked upon the competencies, psychometrics, all those things. So that was a very good start for me. But if you have not got that kind of opportunity, then there are ways that you can get into the HR field. And L&D is one of the routes. I'll share more about that a little later. Now, there is a course that I run as well. With my experience of training L&D, 20 plus years of experience in these domains, I have created a course on learning and development. I've created courses like Training Coordinator Certification course, Virtual Trainer Certification course, and several others. If you are interested, go ahead and check in the description box. Links are mentioned there. Okay, now coming to the question, how to get job in HR. To understand and get into the depth of the topic, let us understand various situations that you could be in. I introduced a few situations in the beginning. Let us get into the specific situations that you could be in. So let's say you are an MBA or you have the right qualification, but you are not getting the break in HR job. Or you might be from a different domain. You might be having the technical experience. You might be from IT or some factory supervisor experience or any such, and you want to get into the HR domain. So you want to know how to get into HR. Third situation could be that you want to get into the HR, but you don't have the required qualification or the MBA, something like that. And fourth situation could be that you are working as a recruiter in a recruitment consultancy and you want to get into the core HR domain. Now, the first case is pretty easier. You are an MBA, you have the required qualification, and you want to get into the HR. You have not got the opportunity yet. So there are ways that you can land up in your dream job. And in fact, I have created a video which could answer to your question. Link is mentioned somewhere here. Go ahead and watch that. The video is on how to grab your dream job. So that will help you. But there are various tips that I'll talk in this video also. So stay tuned till the end of this video. You'll get a lot of learnings from this video as well. Now let us jump to the other situation of you being a recruiter in a recruitment consultancy company and you want to get into the core HR domain. So that is something which I want to get a little bit deeper into, that this is one of the myths that people have. So understand this point. There are certain myths that I will be talking on. I'll burst certain myths about the HR job, and this is one of the myths that you might get suggestion that if you want to get into HR, go ahead and find a job in a recruitment consultancy, and that is one of the ways that you get into HR. Well, it's not 100% true. Working or getting a job as a recruiter, if you get a job as a recruiter, that is not a guarantee that you will get into HR very easily. And the work of a recruiter and the work of a core HR domain are very different. So that is the first myth. You must understand what is the work profile of a recruitment consultant and what is the work profile of a core HR professional. But yes, if you are working as a recruiter in a large organization, then probably you can take an internal move and get into the core HR field. and that's how you can get into the HR. So that could be one of the ways. But if you are in a recruitment consultancy and if you are interested in the core HR profile, then you need to work a bit. Being a recruiter is fine if you are interested in that, but if you are interested in core HR, then I think you need to work, you need to do several things which I'll talk about a little later. Now there is second myth that I come across, and I see people saying that I have got good English speaking skills, or I'm very fluent in speaking English, so should I get into HR? Or many people might suggest you that you are fluent in this language, you are fluent in English or any other language, you are good in speaking, so you should get into HR. That's not the case. English is important, but English should not be the deciding factor for you to get into HR. For being in HR, you need to have good communication skills. And communication is not being good in one language. Communication is about being good in conveying your message, being good in persuading others, in presenting your thoughts, your ideas. Those are the things that you need to be good about. So if you are overall good in communication skills, you are good in these aspects, then of course, HR is a very good field for you. Now, the third myth that I want to talk about is that many people have this notion that being a female means HR job is good, or being a male, HR is not for males. That's not the case. Gender should not be the deciding factor for you to get into HR. The deciding factor for you to get into HR should be your skills, your abilities, your interests. If you are interested in employee related matters, if you are interested in being a middle person between management and the employees, if you are passionate about employee development factors, if you are interested in policy formations for the organization related to employee. So if you are interested in these things, and if you have skills, or if you feel that you will be able to develop the skills related to these aspects, then that should be the deciding factor for you to get into HR. Not because you are a female, so you should get into HR. So considering these myths, try and find out what is good for you by understanding your own interests and by understanding the HR domain, the sub-functions in HR, and the day-to-day responsibilities of an HR professional. By understanding those aspects and by understanding yourself, your skills, your knowledge, your interests, by understanding those two things, then you need to decide whether you should get into HR or not. And that's what I recommend as the first step for you to work upon getting a job in HR. So understand yourself, understand your knowledge level, your skills, your abilities. You need to first of all do some introspection and try and understand what is your knowledge level, what are your skill level, where do you need to develop, where do you need to further work upon so that you land up in an HR job. So that's the first thing you need to work upon. Now, to get any job, you need to understand the fact that I mention in many of my videos that an employer looks for three things, and that is knowledge, skills, and attitude. So you need to work upon these three areas to land up in the right job. So that's where our second step comes, and that is gain knowledge about this domain. So do some self-study. Read books. Reading will always help you, especially the domain related books. Go ahead and read as many books as you can. Read articles. Subscribe to magazines. Subscribe to HR related magazines. And do some self-study. Gain knowledge. If you don't have experience, gain some knowledge so that you are able to speak something in the interview. Now, the third step comes from the skill of the knowledge, skill, and attitude that I talked about. So, the third step is to work upon building your skills. If you don't have the experience, doesn't matter. Go ahead and gain some skills through internships, paid, unpaid, whatever. Go ahead and get some skills from internships. Go ahead and find a mentor for yourself. Be active on LinkedIn. Or there could be another way that you find someone senior to you. Find a senior from your college, or a person in HR from your relatives. Talk to that person, try and understand what kind of work that person does. Visit their organization, their factory, their setup. Visit that, try and understand what all functions happen in HR, and spend some time there understanding what all could be the responsibilities of an HR professional. Another way that you can gain some skill is by joining practical HR training institutes. There is a very good institute that offers practical HR training. I have mentioned a link about that also in the description below. Go ahead and check that out if you are interested. And again, if you want practical knowledge on training and development, how to become a trainer, a virtual trainer, or how to become a training coordinator or a training manager, all those domains, if you are interested in these areas, then I offer very practical courses on this. There are links I have mentioned. Go ahead and check those if you are interested. Now, the fourth and the last point, you need to be active on Naukri, Monster, etc. So you are doing job search, be active in your job search. Keep searching till you get one. So build a good resume, and in fact, if you will do all the other steps that I mentioned till now, your resume would be richer and it would be picked by the employer easily. Now, there is a bonus tip I would like to share here, that be ready to work in small setups. In fact, try and find HR job in a different kind of setup like school, mall, NGOs, small startup. So be ready to work in those kind of setups so that you gain some experience of HR. And be ready to take offers at a little lesser salary if that is what is available. But if you are interested in core HR, then look for the right kind of job profile rather than the package part. Another thing that you can do is that if you are not getting a break in HR, then you can get into similar domains, like you can get into the admin department or office executive profile. So these are the ways that you can look for to gain some experience in HR. And lastly, another important tip is that be prepared for your interview questions. I have created series of videos on how to appear in an interview, how to answer to various common questions in an interview. You will find those videos in the playlist of career and even in the playlist of HR. Go ahead and watch those videos and prepare for your interview as much as you can. Now, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, I recommend that you do it right now, because on this channel, I share lots of tips and techniques about HR, L&D, training, career development, self-development, all these things. And that's all in this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And share your comments, your questions related to HR. What are the topics that you would want me to develop a video on? Share those so that I can make videos on those questions as well. Thank you.